All right, we'll stick with Minnesota for a bit longer and turn our attention now to Representative Ilhan Omar, who's now addressing allegations that she married her own brother by putting the blame squarely on the shoulders of the Republican Party. Following recent reports that federal officials are now poring over her records as part of a thorough immigration fraud investigation, Omar is now fighting back. She claims that no matter how hard the Trump administration looks, they're not going to find anything illegal at all. She also says that Republicans continue to bring up the subject of her marriage simply because they're sick people. Furthermore, the Congresswoman alleges that President Trump's repeated personal attacks against both her and the Somali community are reaching the worst individuals on the entire planet, that fostering an atmosphere of political violence which could ultimately have dangerous consequences. She argues there's a direct correlation between the president's comments and threats against members of Congress. And she also says that when the going gets tough for 47, he simply responds to the pressure by ramping up his bigoted messaging. Omar says that no matter what cards are dealt, she plans to continue her work on Capitol Hill by protecting health care, supporting climate measures, and protecting democracy. Additionally, she says the Trump presidency has taught her that our country's sacred institutions are fragile, that stronger guardrails are needed to protect them, and that their independence should be maintained at all costs. In the meantime, a number of Republican lawmakers, they say if it's ever proven that Omar entered into an illegal marriage to evade immigration laws, she could potentially wind up behind bars or even get deported. Among the allegations that her wedding to a British citizen in 2009 was a marriage of convenience for green card purposes, which took place while she was already another man's wife. You know, soap opera writers, they couldn't dream this stuff up. This is money. And final thoughts, this is the News Roundup Lowdown. Did Ilhan Omar ever really marry her brother? Not sure, and investigate all you want, but it's really kind of a wasted effort. You know, the way we see it, even if she participated in a sham marriage and became a participant in immigration fraud, that's less of an issue right now than the real fraud, which is estimated to be worth nearly $250 million. It's hard to do, but in case you missed it, the $250 million scheme down Minnesota way involved the nonprofit group Feeding Our Future. We've talked about them a couple of times right here on the program. By the way, 5 people, they were convicted in the case last year for misusing funds intended to feed children during the COVID-19 pandemic. Prosecutors say that the knuckleheads in charge of the scheme, they misappropriated and laundered the funds that were designated for meal reimbursements. You got to wonder how it all happened, and here's what we've learned. Certain individuals use fraudulent meal count sheets, false invoices, and fake attendance rosters to cover up their crimes, and Madam Omar claims no knowledge of any wrongdoing. She didn't know nothing, just like Tim Walz. You know, in actuality, she's most likely enjoying the goofy marriage immigration fraud angle, as it kind of appears to be taking some of the focus away from the bigger issue, which means that right now, think about it, she's wagging the dog. And producer Davey, I think we should expect far more from those who are elected to Congress. And what are you thinking?
Well, Bill, they say there's no such thing as bad press, and all this attention, good or bad, is likely making Omar only stronger in her own community.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they're saying as long as they're saying something about you, as long as they're talking about you. And by the way, this is a congresswoman who's not well suited, in my mind, for the job at hand. If she cares even a drop about those whom she's charged with representing, she should vacate her seat immediately. And let's get down to the business of running Minnesota.